Happy accident.
We look for at Austin Guitar Heaven. Just that happy, heavenly chord. Glenn, such a pleasure to have you here.
Hey,
Austin Guitar
pleasure's
Heaven.
mine.
Yes. And, here we say that Austin, Texas is just the center of guitar. Here it's still like one of the, in the world where the guitar is not so favored anymore, maybe sometimes it seems in pop music, we're still in the sacred place. And that's why we call this Guitar Heaven. So
we can insert that sound music later.
yeah, the sound effect. Right. Yeah. But you have been a staple of the Austin guitar scene for, you told me your age. I didn't believe it. I thought you were like my age or something.
Yeah, let's not say that. Doesn't bear repeating.
We can edit that out.
But I've been here about since '84.
Oh wow.
What is that? 33 years.
33.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I've been lucky enough to have been playing the whole time. Just all kinds of people.
Right.
In fact, like your dad's bass player, Glenn Shoots.
Oh,
he and I
Glenn,
go way
sure.
back.
That makes sense.
So we always, kid around with their names.
Did you do the Carnival gig and that kind of stuff with him?
I didn't.
I could see you.
But I did lots of jazz gigs with him, and
That
maybe a
perfect sense.
Samba Police gig or two.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah.
So there's lots of connections.
Originally.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I grew up in Oklahoma.
Oh, cool. Me too. We got a lot in common.
Where from?
I'm from outside Guthrie,
Guthrie.
Oklahoma City,
Okay.
and my wife's from Enid.
Oh, okay. I grew up in Lawton.
Down. Okay, that's like
Down
one part of the state I've
southwest.
never really went to, even though I lived 22
Man,
years.
you do not know what you're missing.
Well, it's just the Air Force, the military
yeah,
base.
big
Fort
military
Sill.
base there. But actually, it was,
That's cool.
there wasn't much to do except play guitar
Right.
and other things. But so it's a good place. But at some point, I had to go and kind of pursue.
Move on to
Was
greener
Austin your
things,
first destination, or?
Well, I was an Army brat. I mean,
Okay.
I'm Puerto Rican Panamanian, but growing up in Oklahoma, so it kind of made for a nice mix.
Yeah.
A lot of just what was on classic rock now, but that was
Mhm.
just the staples on the radio, and in addition to my parents' music, which was more like salsa and
Mm-hmm.
Latin music,
Right.
which
Good mix.
really good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into jazz when I was in my teens.
What did you do when you got here?
When I got here, I mean, I did
Were
a
you like,
few
uh-oh.
non-musical gigs.
Right, of course.
Worked at a record store when vinyl was still
Yeah.
like king,
Yeah.
and CDs weren't even
Yeah. Exist yet.
being thought of. But so I got exposed to a lot of music just working there
I
too.
bet.
All kinds of stuff, and but most of the time I was playing the whole time and been playing music since about 90.
Right.
And
So you-
teaching. I do some teaching and.
Mm-hmm.
So you've seen a lot of changes here in town.
He's like, yes.
It's like this town
Yeah,
is where'd
I
it
mean,
go?
there's parts of downtown. It's like
Oh right.
it's like a whole new town.
This
just
studio, I
an-
always say, this is kind of the last piece of old Austin. Really weird, funky.
Oh, as soon
you
as
know.
I crossed the gate, it was like,
Yeah.
okay, this feels more
1982. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's hidden.
like it really belongs here.
Right. Yeah, it hadn't been discovered yet.
And so, are you teaching privately, or are you part of a music school? or-
Yeah, I teach at one of the music schools in town, Austin School of Music. Been there for a
Oh,
long
cool.
time. I just have a few students right now, and luckily I'm playing primarily,
Mm-hmm.
as much as I can with everything from my group to play with the blues singer Jackie Walker, play with a country guy, Daryl Goldman. It's really good, and in addition to
Okay.
tons of
So
freelance.
those are no slouches.
Gary
Jackie Walker.
Daryl Goldman.
We'll give each of people a shout out. Who was that?
Daryl
Daryl
Goldman.
Gerald Goldman.
Daryl.
I don't
And
know him,
the
yeah.
Austin Jazz Workshop, Glen Rexach group.
Yeah, that's an easy one to remember.
Yeah, well, that's my group is like my original compositions and
You sing,
no singing.
so it's all
It's
instrumental.
all instrumental,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Plus,
So
you
it's-
play a bunch with Will Taylor too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I used to play with strings attached a
Yeah,
bunch,
yeah.
and now I do an occasional wedding,
On and off,
Mhm.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
with or without Will,
Right.
on the gig.
Will Taylor.
Will Taylor.
Will Taylor introduced us a couple months
Yeah.
ago.
I mean,
Otherwise, we would.
Yeah,
not know each
I got to play with a lot of people thanks to Will,
Mhm.
and, so
Right.
it's really nice.
So you're one of the attached strings.
other. Unless he got unattached.
Eesh.
Strings reattached.
Yeah, I mean, I first heard you at the Elephant Room, and then it was later through Steve Circle. I should give him a ring out too. Very.
Keep that bell handy.
Yeah,
Keep
Steve
that
is
bell
real
handy,
sensitive, so yeah.
Sensitive musician.
Yeah, right.
Who would have thought?
But I found out later how versatile you were. Because I just said, okay, here's a jazz player plays like Strat, the kind of Wayne Crouch-ish is what I got,
Yeah,
the first time hearing you.
yeah. He's,
But then I mean, you're a great bass player, and you plays everything basically, and I was kind of impressed, your spectrum, because some of the Elephant Room players, that's what they do, they play at the Elephant Room once a month.
Mhm.
yeah, which I mean, it's I love the hardcore jazz stuff too, and I've kind of focused on that for a while. But once I kind of like my early influences were, well, classic rock. I was listening to a ton of Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and Uriah Heep. And, tons of stuff like that. In addition to the Beatles and Steely Dan a little bit. But it's like that. Those were kind of my roots, and so once I figured out a way to just play that too, in addition to the jazz stuff I've picked up, that makes me really happy. Just
when you can kind of combine.
Yeah, combine it, and I don't care. If I play a country lick in the middle of a heavy bop tune, it's like I like doing that. But if I'm playing a country tune, I'll try not to play a heavy bop lick because nobody wants to hear that on country tune most of the time.
Yeah. Well, if you can get away with it, then in Austin, I think, because I feel like Austin is very non-judgmental, and I haven't been to too many American cities, but compared to where I come from, like Vienna, styles don't mix very well there. If you wanna play like a bebop lick in a polka tune, you're just fired.
You're just fired.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, man. I mean, and I played like in it, like with another. Have that bell there. Roberto Riggio, who's a great violinist, and
Roberto,
with the group Atash.
Atash, yeah.
And pre-Atash, it was called the Gypsies, and I was a member of that, so I was like soaking up
I didn't know that.
kind of Middle Eastern and Indian influences in there too. So I have that.
Wow.
Kind of a little bit. I mean, that's a deep, deep well, and which Roberto's way into it. But I just kind of picked up a few odds and ends, that I could work into country tunes.
Is your Strat old or new?
Well, let's see. Is it 12 years old? I don't know.
Okay, so it's newish.
Newish.
And
it's also, this is an Austin-based. This is a Eric Johnson Strat.
Cool. Ring that bell.
Which I love very much. This is my number one.
Yeah, there you go.
And this is, I didn't get it relicked. Okay, it's just.
Well, that's why I couldn't
you
tell.
relicked it.
Yeah, no, this is all happened.
Cool.
Through years of playing.
And it was white.
Yeah, it was. What
do they call that?
Blonde.
Oh, okay. I used to know all the Fender color schemes.
Yeah, it's been pretty beat up, and So, main thing is I put it all there.
Yeah, right.
So, very nice.
So, I like it.
Looks warm.
A lot.
Looks lived in.
What was that wonderful lush reverb that you were using earlier?
Oh, this is my Earthquaker Devices pedal called the Dispatch Master, and it has both the delay and verb in it. So, I mean, I can turn them either off, but usually I have them both on, and
is that modulation that I hear, is that just on the delay or also on the reverb?
That's probably from the delay.
Is it like a mix button?
Yeah, because that
But it's
the chorus equality, that's what.
But basically any setting, it sounds really good to me. I didn't bring my volume pedal in, but it sounds really nice. But it's it's a really basic pedal though, 4 knobs.
Right.
But yeah, this on my smaller board, which even I saw another board here earlier that made my big board look.
It's all relative. Yeah.
But I'm basically a pretty like clean, with verb and delay guy, or with distortion. That's kind of my realm. I mean, I love guys like texture guys who do that, with a lot more effects or whatnot. I love that, but it's kind of, I haven't really delved into that like I would like to. So.
Well, it's easier to lug around. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's got what I need.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's got the booster, the EP booster, which is who makes those?
I've seen
Exotic. And the compressor, their compressor, the SP, and this is Exact Tone Solutions distortion pedal. A guy named Greg Walton, who's now based out of Nashville now. He used to live in Houston, and then a little TC chorus, which I don't use too much.
What are those connector cables?
Oh, that's a local guy,
Yeah,
Brian Mendez.
Yeah.
Ching, ching,
Drummer guy?
Yeah, drummer.
Oh, yeah.
His cables are called Colossal Cables.
Colossal
Nice
cables.
cable.
I didn't know there was.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah,
one of his
I was
cables
wondering
too.
if you like did the looming or whatever that yourself.
Yeah,
That's like
I mean the patch cables,
insane.
man, they're really very
Yeah, you could-
stiff, but they're pretty indestructible, man.
Looks like it.
Have you
And,
A/B'd them tone-wise with some other stuff? Or?
Not so much. I just kind of plugged them in and said, "Sounds good,"
Uh-huh.
and
You just tell him what you want.
kind of went with
Kinda
that.
go.
Yeah, I just got, a variety of lengths from a foot long to maybe like 6 inches there. And like my bigger board is completely wired with them. And I have this, I don't know what this
That's
is.
a monster.
Monster
cable.
cable.
Yeah, I lost my other
Those will last for 30 years.
Colossal cable, Brian. Sorry, man.
I
Cable
think he's sending
endorsement.
you a message, Brian.
Possible cable endorsement chance.
But no, I love his cables, man, and he's a great guy.
Does he
and
mark directions on the cables? Or?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Like, what is it, the Asteropes? I think.
Well, I
they've
mean, a
had,
lot of the
and-
boutique cables, almost all of them have.
I don't know. I've read pros and cons about that and whether that actually is.
Well, let me tell
something.
you my take. That
But-
I've heard from somebody else too. I mean, I didn't make a cable myself, but they say that they pull the strains of the cable strands through a machine that leaves tiny little structures there, like on a fish, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
Scales?
scales.
Okay.
Yeah, on the outside of the fish, not the inside.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's the guts.
My German is not that good. So the guts.
Wait, your German's
So-
not that good, or your English?
My English.
German's
So
spot on.
because of that microscopic structure
kind of variations.
on the strands, there is a different way. When the electricity flows over it, it's different when it flows against the grain or with the grain,
Which affects
and
the
that's why it sounds different.
Huh?
And it made perfect sense to me. And I'm totally hearing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, explained that way, my non-technical brain can understand that. Okay, with the grain, against the grain.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Which is not to be said
Huh.
that against the
Into
grain can sound better for certain amps, But I think if you have a nice sounding amp, it's just a little more revealing when it's with the grain. When it's like, you hear it. Especially, or let's say put it that way, all cables should have the same direction. Like if you have
Yeah,
against the
including
grain
your
and
patch
in the-
cables.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that sums up. Yeah.
You guys
So-
want to? You mentioned some country licks.
Mm.
Do you want to throw some?
Ah,
country.
he's always ready for.
I'm
some
in the
country.
middle chair, so
Oh, they're-
I'm gonna drive this train.
Yeah.
Not super country. But
Yeah, I'm not. I've got a couple of
It
lyrics,
doesn't have to
but
be. Real, it
that's
won't be real country.
nothing real.
Austin thinks it sounded like a steel guitar.
Yeah, well, when I had
If I wasn't
volume
looking,
pedal,
I would have actually thought that was a steel guitar.
yeah, when I used a pedal, it's
Pretty insane.
yeah, thanks.
A couple of those riffs, I think it was a bend that you did.
There was some.
Yeah. The Hawaiian voicing.
I mean, it's really I need thinner strings.
You had to
but
bend it
I
all
don't
the way.
like, I
That
don't
was
like
really
big
cool.
strings much, but yeah. But I mean, you know, it's,
Especially with the reverb, it sounded like a
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Steel.
still getting the
Really
hang of it. But with the, like I said, with the pedal
you can swell it in.
or the classic.
Have
But
you
I'm
played
just
much in country bands?
Not really.
Yeah,
I kind of.
good.
I mean,
Can.
I just haven't really. It's just been the last 2 years, and I really love it. You know, it's coming from like a pretty heavy jazz background of like thinking about all this, you know, chords and like it's really challenging for me to play country and like try to keep it in the
Right in that box.
in the
That
vein,
makes sense.
you know, and sound country.
You've said the same thing about yourself because you know all the jazz stuff too, and you think it's not easy for you to just turn on the country switch because one, you didn't
it's
listen
even.
to
I
it.
mean, you guys grew up in Oklahoma, so you know at least you
Yeah.
were surrounded by.
Perhaps that's an unfair
But
advantage.
no,
Right.
what I said was
Hear it.
that you know the Middle Eastern is much closer to me than
Oh,
country
okay.
because just geographically, you know, I mean, the
Sure.
whole Balkan area and so.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wherever you grow up, you know, what you
hear
listen to. But that's interesting that you say that you have to actively work on, you know, not letting it seep in, especially if you don't play it like every day. I mean, I guess that's
Yeah,
just-
and it's been in there
yeah,
for years, you know, and I
Uh-huh.
just hadn't really worked on tapping into it much, you know.
Right.
And now after playing for so long, it's just kind of trying to sort of
yeah,
All the double
make it
stops.
sound like me rather than like trying to copy a lot of
right.
cats. So that's why like I'm kind of really drawn to steel guitar. I mean, not just for that. I just love the way
Oh,
a
geez,
steel
it's an
guitar
incredible
sounds.
instrument.
You know, but
Yeah.
Hardest part of that is owning one. Owning one.
Yeah, I've looked
putting
into
it-
that, like-
Jeez, I know. The startup investment.
kind of pricey, man. Even the student models are like. So you mentioned growing like the Middle East was just closer to you.
Yeah, I mean the Balkan
So-
area, even Yugoslavia, you know. I mean, it's already.
Oh, so you're talking like more
It's not Middle
Eastern
Eastern
Europe
Yeah, but
Well, but then
it's
that's just
sleeping
a
in there.
stone's
You know?
throw.
Yeah, it's sleeping in.
to
Closer
And
the
Greece, you know, is already.
Greece, and then you're into Turkey,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Iran, and
Yeah.
Closer to that
Um,
than you were U.S.
Oh, even Bulgaria or so. You know, there's all this folklore traditions for odd meters, it's just second nature, and all the hand drum styles and all that. It's
yeah, it's like Bulgarian stuff I've listened to, and it's just crazy beautiful.
yeah,
But it's like I have no idea where to even.
yeah.
I mean, I can hear like,
Major
okay,
chord.
there's like a major chord in my, but where they
Yeah.
play some real, you know,
And the cool thing is, you know, to them it's mainly like dance music or folk music. And I was at a wedding in Sofia, and they had this old guy, you know, 70-year-old guy, playing accordion, and just played some tune, you know, was figuring out, okay, this is 7/8, you know, but it was dancing, you know, people were just dancing and everything, and the guy, you know, he was just like playing music, you know, like anybody else here on the street, you know, just. And then it's like, what am I doing here? Trying to, you know, who cares? Just dance, you know. It's just a different world, kind of, yeah. Different.
yeah, and what was I say? I've heard some guitar players like from that area or you know that region playing,
Yeah.
and like, because all of it is to me is like coming from the voice, you know, like trying to emulate what a singer does, and then to hear a guitar player doing that with just lots of embellishments, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just pretty mind blowing to
Yeah.
me. It's like,
Yeah. What a great hang again here at the Austin Guitar Heaven today with Glen Rexach. Wonderful to have you here.
hey, thanks so much for
You're
having me.
welcome anytime. And we want to do a little shout out and toast to our seasonal sponsor, recommended by Bee Wine Date, Austonian distillery here from Austin, Texas. There's so many great distilleries here in town. And they gave us their whiskey. And here is what Bee Wine Date had to say about this whiskey that we're gonna try. No. Not for the faint-hearted. This is a bold, fulfilling sip with a comfortable taste of spice on the finish. Unmistakably rye in this mash bill, calling attention on the palate.
Man.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah. I have a very refined palate.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
You want to see how refined?
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Don't dare my palate.
I'm going to bear witness.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna be
witness
our
my
witness.
palate.
We're gonna toast on you, Glenn.
At you. We're gonna
You
toast
know, my
at,
friend.
at you.
At
Let
you,
me-
sorry.
Give it a
Still
little
learning this
smell. It
language.
Smells nice.
Cheers to good friendship and music.
Ching ching.
Austin Guitar Heaven. Cheers.
Cheers.
Stings the lips.
Indeed, very spicy.
That was what I was going for. Thing hollow guitar.
Love that lit.
See you all in 2 weeks again at Austin Guitar Heaven.